Hi, I'm Helena Mooney from Birth and Parenting, and today I'm delighted to have Marion Rose from Parenting with Presence to talk about the interesting subject of playful discipline. Welcome, Marion.
Thank you, Helena.
So, playful discipline, how does it work? Because normally when we're disciplining our children, we're firm, we're serious, we're teaching them a lesson. How does play come into it?
So it's interesting, isn't it, Helena? Because most of the time we don't think of discipline as being at all fun or enjoyable or connecting at all. The way playful discipline works is it really addresses the root cause of why children don't cooperate in the first place. And for that we need to look at punishments and rewards. That's what usually happens, isn't it, when we think of discipline. So when we go to punish our children, we want them to do what we want them to do, and we punish them. What happens is that kind of works because they get scared of us. But in the long term, that means actually less connection between the two of us. And in the long term, punishment doesn't work anymore because we kind of run out of power, especially when they become teenagers. And there's lots of research that shows that children that are punished when they're younger often end up turning to being rebellious teenagers, which is, we don't want that. On the other side, there's more the kind of rewards type of strategies. But there's also lots of research that shows when we reward children to try and get them to do the behaviours we want them to do, they actually lose what's called internal motivation or intrinsic motivation. So they get more motivated by the external things, the things that we offer them. You know, well, if you do that, we'll give you a sweetie, or if you do that, you get to watch a movie, or whatever it is. But as I say, the research shows that children then actually lose interest in the actual thing that we're trying to get them to be motivated to do. So again, in the long term, that actually doesn't work. And what we really want to see is that I think you'll agree that most parents actually want their children to cooperate because they want to cooperate. You know, isn't it nice when a child just does something from their own desire to cooperate? So the way playful parenting or playful discipline works is it's really looking at that root cause. How can we actually entice or encourage or inspire our child to cooperate with us? Not because we're punishing them, not because we're rewarding them, but because they actually want to cooperate.
So how do we do that?
And that's the magic, isn't it? That's the magic. How on earth, if we could bottle that, we would be millionaires. But there really are some ways to understand that. So if we look at that causal aspect, so the first thing is to look at why do children not cooperate, and then we can go from that to what can we do. So the three reasons children generally don't cooperate with us are one, they have an unmet need. Now the unmet needs are usually for things like connection and choice. So you know, often parents might say, oh, they're just doing that to get attention. Don't you hear that a lot?
A lot.
But attention is actually a need for true connection, and children thrive on connection, and particularly with their parents, where it's like their lifeblood. You know, when they get our true present connection, it's that, you know, they come alive. I don't know if you've ever noticed that with your daughter. I certainly find that with my kids. So that's the first reason. It's an unmet need, usually for connection or choice. The second reason is they have a need for information or to understand something. And the third reason for a lack of cooperation is painful feelings, uncomfortable feelings, things like frustration, powerlessness, helplessness, sadness, those kind of things. Now, paradoxically, those are kind of the feelings that are often driving us when we turn to punishments or rewards. Have you ever had that feeling when you just want your child to get out the door and you're just feeling so frustrated and powerless, and you kind of turn to these more power over strategies? Well, paradoxically, our child is often feeling those kind of things too, that kind of frustration. That's actually why they don't want to, it's almost like they can't cooperate. It's similar to us, you know, when we're feeling frustrated, it's very hard to cooperate with someone because we're like, you know. So these are the three reasons why children generally don't cooperate. So if we have those in our minds when they're doing the thing, like they won't get their shoes on to get out the door when we have an important appointment, and if we can really just slow down just for a few moments and to think of these 3 points, then we can actually do something different that's going to actually inspire them to cooperate. And so what can we do? Those are the three things where we address those three things. One, we find a way to meet that need, usually for connection or for choice. We give them information, that's the second piece. Or the third piece is we help them release the uncomfortable feelings, or we help them deal with those in some way. So really that's how playful discipline works.